Ciao guys, marketing can be one of the most rewarding jobs you can aspire to do. But what are the skills that can make you a successful marketer? Is it mastering the latest and greatest digital marketing strategy? Is it how to create the next viral video? Or maybe how to invent and market the next breakthrough product which will sell gazillion pieces and make you richer than Elon Musk? Well, all of these answers couldn't be so wrong and so right at the same time. So if you want to know what are the top 5 skills to learn to become a top marketer in 2024, stay tuned. And if you like the content, please like the video because it tremendously helps with the algorithm. My name is Sam. I did marketing for top-tier companies for almost 20 years, and I was often asked one question: how do you become an excellent marketer? To answer this question, you need to understand what marketing is all about. Marketing is the art of solving unsolved consumer problems and creating an often intangible value exchange between the consumers, the company, and potentially the shareholders as well. You can also understand that to do this, beside the hard skills, which are necessarily like in any other job, and in the case of marketing are not hard to acquire, there is a series of soft skills that can set you apart from the crowd of other marketers. So without any further ado, let's get started. And here is the first skill: the ability to connect dots which are not obviously connected. In fact, contrary to the past, we now have abundance of information, to the extent that it can be difficult to make sense out of it. The best marketers are those who can take the different parts of the information puzzle which do not look obviously connected and make sense out of it. An example: recently I was speaking with a friend of mine who does marketing for a large makeup corporation, which I will not name, and he explained me that some time ago they were noticing an acceleration on some nail polish colors which were not usually very popular among their core target audience. Everybody was confused and assumed some issue in the data reporting. After investigating, they later found out that most of the buyers of these products were young men belonging to the LGBTQ community. Hence, they started to develop a digital campaign targeted at this group with a fairly good success. So remember, if two things are not obviously connected, it doesn't mean they really are not. Look for those hidden connections and you will be surprised by the power of their discovery. The second skill every marketer should master is the ability to simplify. Too often I was in meetings listening to managers explaining how many issues and variables were at play in a particular project. This was overwhelming for them and stressful for the senior managers. As a marketer, it's good to have a broad picture of the issues and the opportunities, of course, but ultimately we should always remind ourselves the one question: what problem am I trying to solve? And once this is clear, we should aim to find the most efficient way to solve it. Not the cheapest, not the ugliest, the most efficient. The one that can create the most value in solving the problem while still being executable. I was always used to say to my team, we are not sending rockets to the moon. Don't make things more complex than it's needed. We also created this acronym, KISS, which stands for Keep It Simple Stupid. So if you want to become a successful marketer, try to have a simple approach to problems and solutions. The third one is one of my favorite, especially if you are at the beginning of your career: the ability to listen to consumers and a genuine passion for them. The reason is simple and might seem obvious, but this is one of the biggest pitfalls many marketers fall into. In many cases, we are not the target consumers of what we are trying to market. So very likely we won't know what are the needs, desires, and pain points of those we are aiming to sell to. So if you don't carefully listen to consumers, you'll never find a way to solve their problems. And you should be passionate about it. You should be truly interested in understanding their lives, the way of thinking, what matters to them and what doesn't. I'll give you one example. When in 2018 as a CMO, I arrived in Russia, a country I knew very little about, I took two deliberate decisions. The first one was to use public transport every day, because I wanted to understand how the life of my target consumer was, their faces, their expression, what they were doing or reading during the commute. And the second one was to travel the country as much as I could and meet consumers at their homes to understand how they were living, how they were interacting with friends and families, what they were eating and drinking. This helped me to define what I call the cultural code and understand how to serve these people better. So if you want to be a good marketer, don't stay in the office all the time. Go out on the streets, talk to people, ask them questions, and you will find so many interesting facts that will make your marketing life so much easier and fulfilling. And now it's time for the fourth one. I'd say another fundamental skill for a marketer today. It's the ability to balance short-term and long-term. The reality is, in this fast and accelerating society, companies no longer have the luxury to wait for years before a brand or a product picks up and start to make profit. But on the other hand, we should also remember that Rome wasn't built in a day. Unfortunately, I've seen many marketers in the last years choosing the easy path and going all in for the short term, totally neglecting the long-term brand building. And see, it's fair enough. At the beginning, you might see a sales spike, but as a result, many recently born brands have shaky foundations. As a marketer, you should always be extremely self-aware about what you are doing. If you are doing an activity to get the short-term sales to close the quarter, or if you are doing something which is building the brand on the long term. And be careful, I'm not saying you should not do performance marketing, but you should always remember a fact. Performance marketing don't build any branding long terms. While brand marketing can anyway get you some results in the short term, but will greatly impact your mid to long term results. Hence, use a fine mix of the two. And if you're liking the video so far, please also consider to have a look at my other video about the 10 steps to create a marketing plan. I'm sure you will find it interesting. Now it's time for the fifth and last one which is very dear to me. Don't take business too seriously. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying to be unprofessional or not dedicated to what you do, but always remember to have fun. To leave some space for a good banter with your colleagues, and to use a good dose of humor to judge what you're doing. This will foster creativity, unleash new ideas, and keep what you do fresh and relevant. I'll be honest with you, many of the great campaigns I saw coming to life were ideated in a very relaxed and cheerful environment. So don't be scared to have some light-hearted moments, which means work hard but play hard too, because this is one of the biggest perks of being a marketer. So these were my top 5 skills for a marketer in 2024. Please let me know in the comments below if there are others you would add to the list. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, ciao, see you guys!